Hey guys, Xlice here. Arknights Endfield is finally out and ready to play. To make your experience in the game smoother, this video is going to cover beginner essential tips for each major category of the game and general things you want to know so that you're not missing anything in your progression. I plan to cover complete character guides for limited releases and fun community summon videos. So if you like what you see, like and subscribe for future content. Let's get into it. First off, and probably most important for all newcomers, are where to get your 135 free pulls. Pre-registration rewards 20 standard, get that in the mail. Playing the main missions of the game will slowly get you 40 for the beginner banner. This will include all major tutorials for in-game features as you progress the main missions, so just enjoy it and hopefully you get some lucky pulls early. Now let's hit F7. This is a familiar event page detailing all ongoing events. What we care about is New Horizons giveaway. This is a one-stop panel for all early game rewards. Right here is the main mission progression of the game that will slowly get you 40 of the beginner banner pulls. Now the first thing you'll see is the Awakening sign-in. This is a 14-day beginner login where you get your free Ardelia and her signature weapon in 12 limited pulls. Day 3 will be Ardelia. Day 10 will be her signature weapon, and the 12 other days give one limited pull and various other resources. Next up is level rewards. So these will give you a total of 40 standard pulls, 10 weapon pulls, a selectable 6-star weapon, and 4,000 oral barrels, which is equivalent to 8 pulls. This will take the longest since you need level 45 to achieve all rewards. This crate here is a 6-star selectable weapon chest. That being said, if you only care about the pulls, level 30 is where they stop at. And not included in the New Horizons are the limited pulls for each of the upcoming banners. They'll look like this, and in total, you'll get 5 limited pulls for each of the upcoming rate of characters, Levitane, Gilberta, and Yvonne for a total of 15. Currently, rate up is Levitane, or Surtur, so her 5 are here and take 7 days. So, these 5 locations, the pre-register in the mail, the main missions, beginner login, level up rewards, and rate up character sign-in will net you your 135 pulls to get your roster started right away. Now a debrief on combat. So I'll show you Levitane trial as an example. There are 4 characters on your team, and you control one of them at any point in time. The other 3 will still remain on field and deal damage. If at any point you swap characters, they will exchange places. You will still remain where you are, so the camera doesn't go crazy switching POV constantly. This game operates on a skill, QTE, and ult system. See the skills down here on 1, 2, 3, 4. The ultimate bar is right above them, and QTE will show up on screen here with usually like a trigger system. The skills do not have a cooldown. Instead, you will use skill points from this resource bar. Each skill is 1 skill point, and you have a max of 3 at any time. QTE have cooldowns, but do not use skill points. Instead, they are triggered in combat. Ultimate obviously uses energy. Your most important resource in combat will be these skill points. The game is more about comboing, strategy, and patience rather than spamming abilities off cooldown. Remember that you have 4 operators on field at any point in time, but only a max of 3 skill points, so use your skills wisely. Not all characters will use their skills for certain teams, but you will abuse those QTEs as much as possible. Different teams will have different strategies. Plan accordingly. Operators and gearing system. So, breathe a sigh of relief. For the gear, the stats on these pieces are fixed, and they are also mass producible through factory production. The RNG in this game revolves around essences on your weapons, and this will be part of the farming loop later on. But don't worry, because the base gearing system, which is all of these right here, is fixed, your character's default strength without RNG is pretty good. This allows you a lower stress environment to just enjoy the game at your own pace. And do know that this is not the recommended gear setup for Levitane, it is just a default set supplied here. Now, the characters themselves are divided into 6 classes that you see on the screen here. There are DPS classes, support, defense, and utility. The one class that I will personally point out is Vanguard. These guys are able to generate skill points for your team, and are pretty useful for more skill point intensive comps. We currently have 1 Vanguard for each of the types except for nature. We have Pog for physical. We have Alesh for cryo, Arknight for electric, and Akakuri for heat.
Let me do something for Enfield.
Notably, Akakuri is a staple utility unit for the first limited rate up Levitane. Just want to point this out because these units could potentially be staple inclusions for most team comps. Factory building. So those who are familiar with games like Factorio, Satisfactory, etc. are going to enjoy this aspect in Enfield. And those who aren't really interested, don't worry. You will be able to copy your friend's homework with the blueprint sharing system, so everyone can enjoy what they want to enjoy. Base building is split up into regions. You'll notice that you're going to be connecting your map together to automate farming resources, adding zip lines for faster travel, and reaching areas that have rare materials to upgrade your characters. You can go as crazy as you want or as simple as you want, and there will be memo beacons that you'll see that aren't from you but from someone else shared across worlds. It's pretty cool, and it's like free tips every now and then when you're exploring the world. Some regions have its own home base that you'll be able to unlock, allowing you to start connecting things and farm those resources. Areas that do not have this kind of mini home system, you will have to connect through other regions. This may be a little bit tedious, but it is part of the grind. Now, your actual base building will either be a mixture of your own creation or just taking advantage of blueprints. You can unlock blueprints through the simulation, which are really handy tutorials and crash courses on what they do. What you're seeing on screen might be overwhelming, but don't worry about it. It's just an example. And once you do have things set up and are resource gathering, you can run your own little stock market. Sell your goods, improve the prosperity of each region, and purchase things from the good shop. If you have friends, you can even do some real-time stock manipulation for insane gains. One final thing related to factory building is up here. Don't forget progression on your spaceship, the OMV Dijiang. You'll be introduced to this naturally by playing the game, and it's familiar to the base system in OG Arknights. You'll be able to generate more materials for operator progression here. Now, let's revisit those hotkeys up top. These may be different key bindings for you, so reference the icon. F6 is going to be the battle pass, F7 is the events, F9 is summoning. Now let's check out F8. This is our operation manual. Use cases for your stamina, which is sanity in this game, and general milestones for early game progression. This also shows up in Horizon's giveaway that we went over early on, showing that there are 9k oral barrels included in this progression. When you've unlocked this in game, you've got dailies. It took me about 3 hours in beta 2, so probably expect around that time for official release. So node, this is the beginner guide stuff that you guys are probably used to. We have the daily tab, of course. Index is for stamina usage, includes character progression, weapons, bosses, advanced materials, and weapon essences. These are the things that are the RNG farming. Training is basic in-game guide stuff. Simulation is for the blueprints and factory building. And permanent will be endgame content. Alright, now let's take a step back and go to the battle pass with F6. So there's one really important thing I want you guys to know. It looks like here that there's 3 tiers of battle pass, right? Well, wrong. There's actually only 2. You will always have the Originium supply tier unlocked. Let me show you why. So you see this here, it costs 29 Origiometries, which is the paid currency, but it rewards you with 32. There's no catch. The devs designed this battle pass tier to be 110% return on your initial investment. You literally get all of these bonuses, a 6-star weapon selection crate, and 32 Origiometries over time. Now, this Origiometry is the paid currency, but if we go back to the event page and go to the New Horizons page that you guys saw, it tells you here that just by playing the game, it will reward you with 70 of these Origiometries naturally. So make absolutely sure that you save 29 of these and immediately invest into the second battle pass tier. There are 60 levels of this, which you can easily get by playing naturally, and the last tier will give you 7 of those juicy geos. The bottom tier is paid and does cost $10 USD, so don't worry about that unless you're like me and love spending money on gacha games. I don't have a problem, I promise. And finally, gacha. So this one's a bit controversial for the community, and this beginner's guide is not intended to give you a PhD thesis on it. There's also not much I can show here, so I'm just going to give you the information that you need. The number 1 rule: Endfield has a 120 pull spark system that has a 100% guarantee of the featured rate-up character. This spark system will never carry over to the next banner. If you have 119 out of 120 spark on the current banner, next banner, it's gone. 0 out of 120. Goodbye to the 119 spark. The number 1 advice that follows from this rule: do not pull unless you can commit 120 pulls to the character that you want. Okay? Number 2 rule: Endfield has a separate, always 50-50 soft pity every 80 pulls. This is unrelated to the previous spark system I just mentioned. This 50-50 soft pity will never be guaranteed. So yes, you can lose this 50-50 soft pity 10 times in a row if you're unlucky. This 50-50 soft pity does carry over. This brings us to the number 2 advice. There are 2 counters always active: the 50-50 counter and the spark counter. All you should care about as the player is the spark counter. Okay? Number 3 rule: the 120 spark counter is 1 time per banner. All subsequent spark guarantees are double the amount at 240. So my 3rd advice: F2P and low spenders, I highly recommend you do not chase for more copies. Copies are like potentials, right? Constellations, eidolons, whatever you want to say, sequence nodes, etc. Endfield is designed around a potential 0, which is just the base character, and their signature weapon. Anymore, even just P1 or P2, like other games, is completely whale territory in this game. I personally will be operating on a P0 collector account, getting everyone at P0. Only for characters I absolutely love, I will invest in maxing out. So that's the major breakdown, okay? Only pull for a character if you have 120 pulls for the banner. Not 119, not 110, not 120. Now don't worry about the pull currency cost. It is 5,000 in this game, but all your resources, pull income, and spending are adjusted to match and be slightly better than the Hoyo games and Woo games that you're familiar with 1600 currency. Don't worry about the currency. The income that you get as a free player, all that stuff is all adjusted, okay? Cool. Now for the weapon banners. There's a lot of built-in systems that make it very low currency to invest, okay? This one uses a currency called Arsenal Ticket. First, the character banner refunds you with weapon banner currency. It's like a cashback system. This will be your main source of weapon banner pulls, just from the character banner. You can still spend premium currency, those aura geometries, to pull here. So they will supply the rest of the pulls if you haven't achieved the whatever weapon you want. The base 6-star weapon rate is 4%. So it's just a 1 in 25 of receiving any 6-star weapon, okay? There's a 40 soft pity and an 80 hard pity. Overall, you get a combination of a lot of things. A much higher base rate, a super low pity count, and built-in pulls from character banner. The design of the system is to make it very, very low friction for you to get both one copy of the character and the signature weapon. And of course, you don't need to get the 6-star weapon if you don't want to. If you want to save just for characters, you can probably use 4-star, 5-star weapons. We will see how strong they are in the game. Anyways, that's the gist of the gacha system. They do have even more nice refund systems for character banners at 30 and 60 pulls, which are worth mentioning, but they're not worth confusing you guys over the details with. You'll see when you play. Again, the number one rule that I will keep repeating: do not commit to a character banner unless you have 120 pulls. If you follow this one advice, you'll have a great time in Endfield. You may be rewarded early with the character that you want, and that's great. Please walk away. Just walk away. Do not further engage with the casino, okay? It will punish you for being greedy. At the end of the day, Endfield has a solid variety of content to appeal to multiple different audiences. If you're a lore enjoyer, base building menace, theory crafter, casual collector, speedrun whale, all of the above, none of the above, it doesn't matter. As long as you're having fun and not at the expense of others. If you're watching this on the first day of release, I'll be doing a 24-hour launch celebration stream for Endfield, available on Twitch and possibly YouTube. Drop by if you want to hang out. Other than that, don't forget to like and subscribe for more Endfield videos, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care.